friends, in my last video we have seen the relation between r and n, and in that we got r is directly proportional to n square. Now we will move ahead to find out the relation between E and n, that is the energy of an electron in nth orbit. For this we will consider the electron is moving with the speed v. Electron moves with speed v. Now, when the electron is moving, it will possess the total energy of that electron is nothing but potential energy plus kinetic energy. Potential energy, according to Bohr's first postulate, the potential energy is nothing but the electrostatic force of attraction between electron and the nucleus, and that is given by Z E square upon 4 pi epsilon naught r square. Correct? Now, what is kinetic energy? Kinetic energy is nothing but half mv square. First, we will find out the kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is given by half mv square. The value of v is nothing but E square upon 2 epsilon naught nh. So Ek will become half m v square, that is E square upon 2 epsilon naught nh whole square. So the answer is half m e raised to 4 upon 4 epsilon naught square n square h square. Suppose this is equation 1. Equation 1 gives the value of kinetic energy when the electron is moving with the speed v. Now we will go for potential energy. Potential energy, to find out the total potential energy, we have to integrate from r to infinity to Z square upon 4 epsilon naught r square pi with respect to dr. Now we can take all these values outside the integral due to constant. So the value will become, and if we consider hydrogen atom, the value of Z is 1. So the remaining quantities are E square upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Within integral, only 1 upon r square. We have to integrate this with respect to dr. Now, after integration, the value of Ep will be E square upon 4 pi epsilon naught into 1 upon r. So the equation will become minus E square upon 4 pi epsilon naught r. Now in this equation we have to substitute the value of r, and the value of r is nothing but n square h square epsilon naught upon pi n e square. So just substitute the value of r, we will get minus e square upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Instead of r we will write down n square h square epsilon naught upon pi m e square. Now if we solve this, we will get Ep as pi me raised to 4 upon 4 pi epsilon naught square n square h square. This is equation 2. Okay, we can cancel out this pi over here. So the equation will become minus m e raised to 4 upon 4 epsilon naught square n square h square. Now we will find out the total potential energy. The total potential energy is given by equation 2 and the kinetic energy is given by equation 1. We will add these two equations to get the total energy. Therefore, the total energy will be m e raised to 4 upon 8 epsilon naught square n square h square minus m e raised to 4 upon 4 epsilon naught square n square h square. After taking LCM, we will get minus m e raised to 4 upon 8 epsilon naught square n square h square is your total energy. Okay. Now if we see m, e, epsilon on and h all are constant value, so E is directly proportional to minus 1 upon n square. This indicates what? As n increases, E also increases due to negative sign. We will check this. When we want to find out E1, that is when n is 1, the value will become minus m e raised to 4 upon 8 epsilon naught square h square. If we substitute all the constant value, we will get minus 13.6 electron volt is the value of first energy level. Now find out E2. E2 will be instead of 1 we will substitute 4. Because my n is 2 and n square will become 4. So I will just write down minus 13.6 upon 4 and the value will become minus 4 3s are 12, 4 4s are 16 electron volt. If we compare these two values, minus 13.6 and minus 3.4, which is greater, E2 is greater than E1, right? So when n is 2, my E2 value is more when n is 1. So from this we can say that when n increases, E also increases. And this E is the total energy of an electron, which is inversely proportional to minus n square. I hope you understood the relation between E and N. Thank you.